Good afternoon, and welcome to the NSTP FASET Campus Partner Presentation. My name is James Allen Jr., and I am a coordinator for new student and transition programs here at Georgia Tech, where I specifically work with our extended orientation program, Rec Camp. Today, I will serve as your moderator for this panel, along with Logan Sands, who is a member of FASET Cabinet. We are so excited that you are here with us today and welcome you and your students to the Georgia Tech family. We also hope that you and your loved ones are safe during these uncertain times. To begin our campus partner presentation, I would like to introduce our presenters who will be with us today. John Stein, Vice President of Student Life and Dean of Students. Lacey Whedon, the Director of Parent and Family Programs. Tyler Barker, the Coordinator of Parent and Family Programs. And William McKenna, Coordinator of the Parent Fund. As a reminder, if you have a question that has not been asked, please feel free to send a message in our anonymous chat bar within Microsoft Teams. We will do our very best to field all questions asked within this hour time frame. To begin our campus partner presentation, I now turn it over to Dean John Stein, Vice President of Student Life and Dean of Students here at Georgia Tech. You're muted, Dean Stein.
There we go. Good afternoon and welcome to Georgia Tech. I hope you're happy and getting a lot of information out of this FASET orientation. You may have heard me this morning at the welcome. I'm going to say a little bit more specifically around information for you as family members and those of you that will be supporting your student while here at Tech. I'm in my office at Georgia Tech, and I've been at Tech now for 19 years. Which basically means that I have had lots of conversations with students and they have helped me understand what this experience is about. And it's based on these conversations and my own experience as a father of two students, not here at Tech, but elsewhere, that I offer some thoughts. So let's get to it. So next slide, please. So again, very, very quickly, the Division of Student Life is committed to really enhancing the personal, academic, professional growth of our students. We complement the academic side of the Institute. We work very, very closely with them, both with faculty and academic administrative staff. We have 4 areas that we really focus on a great deal: student leadership, student transition and success, which is part of FASET, healthy lifestyles, and then cultural awareness and educational growth. We are an international campus. We value that, we appreciate that, we celebrate that, and we want our students to. The picture that you're looking at is of a former Dean of Students, George Griffin, from a number of years ago, and George is an iconic figure here on campus, and his statue sits right outside the building in which my office is located. Next slide. These are the areas, the broad areas that make up the department and the division with a number of departments under them. Okay, so you can see mental health and well-being, inclusion, advocacy and support, education, student engagement and creativity, orientation and transition, and then leadership and development. All of these staffs on a daily basis come in focused on students, student success, and student engagement. Next slide. So I do want to say we are in a transitional moment right now, a very exciting one for us, but the Institute has made a major decision. We are going to be merging the Division of Student Life and the Division of Campus Services into one division. That will be occurring this summer. It will be in place by the time the academic year begins. It will bring 2 staffs of these 2 divisions together under the Division of Student Engagement and Well-Being. Right? This was designed to better support student success in line with the Institute and the President's strategic plan. So we're excited about that. We are hiring a new Vice President. I will be stepping down as VP in a number of weeks, and we are in the final stages of hiring a new VP, and I will return back to my role as full-time as the Dean of Students. I've been occupying both positions now for over 6 years, and I'll return back full-time to the Dean's role, which is one that I really value and enjoy. So we're excited about this, and we do believe that this will help to make the student experience much improved and also allow us to better organize and better kind of do the things that we need to do to assist students and families. Next slide. So here's where we are now, and that's the reality check of starting college. And if we were in a room right now together, I would be asking how many of you are sending your first child to college, how many are sending your last, how many are sending your first and only. I usually survey the audience to get a feel for that. Typically, many of you would be sending your first, and so it's a new experience for them, it's a new experience for you. And even if you've yourself have been through college, this is a very different experience. So it is a time that's filled with all kinds of emotions, thoughts, feelings. It's a great time, but it has a lot of different feelings and thoughts. It's exciting. It should be. It's very exciting. You know, they may not be showing that excitement. Some students do, some students don't, but I'm sure you're very excited. And they should be. They worked very, very hard to get accepted to Georgia Tech. They should feel extremely proud about that. You should feel extremely proud. 45,000 applications for this class, and they are one of the students who will be entering as part of this class. That's a very exciting reality for them and for you. And it is a product of the hard work that they have done to get to this place of being accepted at Tech. It's also a very confusing time. There's a lot to learn. There's a whole new language. There's all kinds of things that, you know, come in terms of if they're leaving home, living with us, making it on their own, the difference between high school and college. It's a very confusing time, filling out financial aid forms, all of that. But it's also a very liberating time. It's, you know, they think about the fact that they'll be on their own if they're coming to live with us. They'll be separate from you. It's an exciting piece of this, if you can think back to when that happened for you. You know, and it is a very normal developmental piece that should be happening at this point in their lives. It is liberating, but it's also demanding. There's a lot that comes with it. And I don't just mean academically, but there's a lot that comes with it in terms of just making that transition, being in charge of themselves, living separate from you. That's a very demanding piece. And they won't realize that probably until they start doing it, and then they'll realize what that really entails. And even if you try to tell them, they may not clearly get it until they start living it, and then I think it'll become a reality. This is different. This is not grade 13. It's not high school. It's a very different experience. They'll quickly see that. They'll even feel that during orientation and if they're coming for the summer term. And it's an emotional time. It's an emotional time because for them, it's asking them to give up the familiar and the known. You know, the house, if they're living with us, the house, you know, their bedroom, their bed, their pets, their friends, their high school reputation, all of that is things that they move on from. They don't give them up forever, they don't lose them, but they move on from as they make their way to us and try to invest in this community and start building that reputation and building the life that they want to live here at Tech. It's an emotional time for you, especially if it's your first, because you know, you need to say goodbye and you won't have them right there with you, and that you can feel that. Now, for first and only, it can be very emotional in terms of, you know, going from having a child home to no child home at that point. But it is again, I just want to reiterate, it's a very natural developmental piece that happens at this stage in their life. The biggest thing I can say about all this is that it's a time of transition. If you think about transitions in life, they usually entail these things. Transitions are exciting, they can be confusing, they can be liberating, they can be demanding, they're different, and some emotion may come with that transition. The way to think about that in terms of, you know, if you left a job and started a new job, right? There are things you give up, there are things you gain. You have to start building all over again in terms of making your way, becoming known, building your reputation. If you move from one state to another, from one neighborhood to another, you know, it's finding the shortcuts, finding the way, finding the path, meeting the people. That's what transitions are about. And one way to think about this experience is as a transition. That might help you understand kind of what's going on here and what they're trying to navigate. Okay, next slide, please. Things that you can do is just, be patient with all of it. Because it'll be a roller coaster. There'll be good days and not so good days. There'll be stressful days and calmer days and stuff, but just try to be patient and help them try to be patient with it. Be supportive, keep encouraging, give the affirmations. Okay, even if there's some hesitancy in during this time of, am I ready? Can I do this? Yes, you can, right? And keep saying that to them, help them understand that. Now, some students, I just want to say, will jump right in and will not have an issue, okay? But we do know that some really have some concerns, some thoughts, and some fears about all of it. Try to be flexible, think through in terms of everything that needs to get done, from packing to figuring things out, and everything doesn't have to happen in one day. So, in terms of that flexibility, what really should happen today, what should happen this week, and as you move through the experience together, but try to be flexible with it. Be understanding, and hopefully after this talk you can be more understanding about it, but just try to understand, again, what they're going through and what they're experiencing here. And then be clear about your expectations and be very clear about that. But I want to kind of say something that I don't want you to think about like a GPA or a straight A. That's not what I'm talking about. When I talk about this, what I'm saying is, as a parent, as a family, what's the one or two things you want your son or daughter or child to remember as they leave you and make their way to us? As they separate out and come to us, what's the most important things you want them to hold on to? Okay, and tell them that. Okay, say as you leave, this is what I want you to remember. Okay, and make sure they hear you. All right, now they may not react to it, but they remember it, because I can tell you when I ask students about this, they can usually tell me the one or two things that mom or dad, and it's interesting because, you can have the same conversation, mom or dad, and you can have, different thoughts about that. And they don't have to be exactly the same, but what's the one or two things that you really want your child to hold on to as they begin this experience and make their way and create their future? Next slide, please. Their common fears are pretty basic, okay? The first one is kind of making friends, and that kind of makes sense. If you think about this, anytime we enter a new situation, we go into a new environment, we walk into a room and, we don't really know the people. One of the first things we consciously or unconsciously do is to look around, who's in this room, and you're kind of either asking the question, do I fit in? Are these my people, right? Am I similar to these people? And I think that's what happens, during this whole experience, is in the beginning, it's all about kind of, am I fitting in here? Is this the right place? Did I make the right choice? And, keep in mind that making friends at 16, 17, 18 is very different than making friends at 5 and 6 years old. And it's a very different experience. They know what they like about themselves. They know what they don't like. They know what they've been successful at. They know where they have fallen short. They know their reputation in the past, right? All of that is known. And so they bring that in terms of who they are as they start meeting people. So making friends is one of the biggest kinds of concerns that students might have. Again, I want to say there are some students that will just jump in and just, be able to navigate this. So I'm generally speaking, but your sons and daughters, you know where you would place them on a continuum. So just keep that in mind. The next is the roommate, right? And, what's this person going to be like, especially if they don't know the person they're going to be living with. Nobody wants to get stuck with X, whatever X is in their head, the most athletic person in the class, whatever that is, there's some concern until they kind of meet, start living together, and start realizing that they have common ground and they have common interest in stuff. I do want to say that roommates do not have to be best friends. Okay, that's not the most important piece. Roommates have to respect each other, they have to trust each other, they have to communicate with each other, right? But they don't have to be best friends, and let's not set it up that way. Okay, let's not say, oh, your freshman college roommate will be your best friend for life. If we were in a room together again, I would be asking how many of you is that true? That your freshman college roommate is one of your best friends in life. Some hands will go up. The majority of hands do not go up, okay? So we don't want to set it up that way, because otherwise we then set it up for them to be thinking, what did I do wrong? Why isn't this happening for me? All right, so let's be careful. Leaving home is another kind of fear, even though they're into this kind of liberation piece. Leaving home is a lot. I mean, they have to figure out, kind of live on their own. And leaving home means that they have to kind of pack up. They have to figure out, what do I bring from home? What do I leave behind? And that can also be an emotional piece. And that's usually around hesitancy in packing and stuff, because students just are trying to navigate those feelings that they're having as they pack up and get ready to come. Grades, another one, just what is this place about? I keep hearing it's rich, it's very rigorous, it's difficult. So there is concern around grades. They're smart. They were accepted to Georgia Tech. We believe they can be successful here, but it is a common kind of concern on their part in terms of grades. The biggest concern, I would say, is the unknown. Everything they wish they knew that they don't know, okay? And they're not going to know until they start living with us, Who am I going to have dinner with the first night? How do I get from class to class? These buildings, there's so many buildings. Am I going to be able to find the building where my physics course is located? These are the kinds of things that are just in their head. And again, as they live here and they navigate the place, they will learn, okay? What I'll say is that it's always amazing to me. I usually teach freshman seminar in the fall. It's always amazing to me 2 weeks in when I ask the students, how much more do you know than you did 2 weeks ago? Lots of hands go up. 2 months in, how much more do you know, right? And it just keeps building. It's a cumulative effect. It's a natural thing that happens. You're here, you learn more, you learn the shortcuts, you learn the information that you need, okay? Safety and security is another concern, just in terms of navigating, making their way to a big city if they don't come from a big city, downtown Atlanta, and the issues of safety within the city and security and stuff. Next slide. So, what you can do to ready your student is to keep honing. You've been doing this as parents, but keep honing 3 most important skills: decision-making, problem-solving, coping. Okay, very, very important skills. These make or break a student. The best, the smartest student, these 3 skills can make or break them. Let's spend very briefly a little bit of time. Decision-making. I want you to think about, even today, how many decisions you've already made today. Okay, if you think about in any given day how many decisions we all make in our lives, it's amazing. Most of those decisions, though, are things that we do probably on the spot. We don't really take time to ponder them the way we do other decisions, right? They're going to be making decisions all the time. And they have been. I'm not saying that they haven't been doing that, but they will be making them. They'll be making them in your absence, okay? Some will be really big decisions. Some will be kind of quick things that they can think about and do. Some will be instinctual things. And unfortunately, some will be that they haven't taken the time to think something through, and they just went with the crowd, went with the flow, okay? Those are the kinds of times where things can go awry, all right? And an example of that would be last academic year, in a year where we really didn't have many students physically on campus, we still had 7 first-year students end up at the hospital for alcohol poisoning, okay? None of those students went out that night expecting to end up in a hospital because of alcohol. None of them. And I know that because I met with each of them and their families, either in person or virtually. And we had this conversation. And as we walk through the night together, what they begin to see is that there were a set of decisions that they made that kept building and leading down a path that resulted in going to the hospital. And they never took the time to step back to interrupt what was going on to be able to change the outcome. And see, those are the moments where things are difficult. And that's going to happen here. Okay, we don't want to fool ourselves. They are going to be invited into things. They're going to be asked to do things. You know, a friend is going to run down the hall and say, can you give me the lab? Can you show me the homework? Did you do it? And, you know, they're going to have to make a split-second decision. Do I share that? Do I hand it over? Do I call it up on the computer? And in doing so, they may not be thinking of the consequence of the faculty member then assessing that there was inappropriate collaboration and referring both of them to the Office of Student Integrity. Okay, these are the kinds of decisions that as they live here and just navigate life that they'll be dealing with. Okay, problem solving goes hand in hand. We are not perfect. We're a great place, but we're not perfect. There's a lot of bureaucracy sometimes. They're going to have to problem solve. Okay, and you know what I'm going to say is that you really should not be doing that for them. Okay. Now, there will be times where you absolutely know you have to, but most times you should not be doing it for them. And so how do you not do that? The way that you don't do that anymore is to stop giving answers and just ask the right questions. Don't give answers, ask the right questions. Okay, who on campus can you talk to? All right, is there anybody right around you that can help you with that? You know, does your professor have office hours? Okay, as opposed to go to your professor's office hours. Call so-and-so. Don't do that. When you do that, that interrupts the problem solving. When you ask the right questions, it initiates problem solving. And that's a way of helping them out. Now, do not be surprised if after a while they just say, I don't know. You know, that happens too. Don't be surprised by that. Just, you know, continue to ask the right questions. The third is coping. They're going to have to cope with all kinds of things, exciting things, disappointing things, rejection, you know, falling short in terms of, you know, a grade or a test. I mean, these are the kind of natural things. We all have to cope with things every day in our lives. And again, you know your students, you know where they fall. Place them on a continuum with these three skills and kind of give a sense and then think through what you can do to continue to help them, all right? Along the way, I want you to deliver messages of trust. I trust you, even if there's been past transgressions, start anew, you know, trust until there's a reason not to. Please give the message it's okay to make mistakes. They can't be perfect. They shouldn't be perfect. When none of us are perfect, please, please, please. Allow them to admit their mistakes to you. Okay, I'm always asking students when I meet with them, does your family know what's going on? All right, I think it's important that they have your support at certain times. Believe in them. Even when they stop believing in themselves, I want you to believe in them and keep reminding them. And then it's okay to be honest. It's okay to be honest with you and tell you things, all right? That goes hand in hand with making mistakes. Again, I always have conversations. I ask the question, does your family know? Many times the answer is no. Why not? I don't want to upset them. They have this situation going on back home. I don't want to add to things. But it's very, very helpful that they're honest with you and that you know what's really going on. They need that support, and I think holding on to things without admitting it is worse. It makes the situation worse, and every time they get off the phone with you, they realize that they really weren't being honest, okay? Discuss important every life day issues, health and safety in the moment we're in, you know, just kind of, you know, knowing what they need to do to keep themselves safe. There are 3 classes that they will need to take online. One is on sexual misconduct that has to do with relationships. The other is on alcohol and drugs, which is alcohol EDU. And then there's a third one on mental health. These are baseline educational kinds of online classes that we want them to take before the semester begins. There are deadlines too that they have to reach in terms of completing those. I did tell the group this morning that the consequence to not doing this is not an immediate one, but a longer term one, in the fact that if you don't complete it, a hold will be placed on your account and you will not be able to register for spring term. And that is not okay. So we really need for them to complete it. Why do we do this? Is because we want all students to have baseline. We haven't traveled this journey with them. We don't know what level of education they have, and we want to make sure all students start at the same place. And this is the importance of it for us. So next slide. Whoa. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, go back. Yep.
It was going crazy just then. My apologies.
That's okay. No problem. We're almost there, I think. All right, 4 attributes. We've got one or two slides. So 4 attributes that promote success. So, in all the years that I've been working and listening to students and stuff, I've kind of categorized it into 4 things that students have convinced me promote success for themselves here at Georgia Tech and probably at most colleges and universities. The first one is self-control and self-regulation. That goes back to those skills that I was talking about. The more you're in control of your life, the more you are self-regulating your decisions, your choices, the better, okay? It's when you allow other things to control you. It's when you're out of control. It's when you have no self-regulation that it really gets problematic. So successful students are students that kind of are very much aware of what they're doing, how they're doing it, when they're doing it, why they're doing it. There's an intentionality about all of it, and that's something we want to promote. The second is self-compassion, giving themselves a break. This is a high achieving population of students who are very, very used to success. And when I say self-compassion, I mean, give yourself a break. Here at Tech, that means sometimes when you earn a B, because a lot of these students have been straight A students, and a B represents failure for them. You've never earned a B, and you come to Tech and you earn your first B. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't have to be an F. It could be a B. And I think that's what happens sometimes, is the student gets disappointed that they're no longer a perfect 4.0 straight A student, all right? And we want to help them with that. B's and A's and C's are very decent grades here at Georgia Tech. They need to kind of come to terms with that, okay? Academic engagement, the more students are engaged, even in this hybrid remote time, the better, okay? Learning happens when you're engaged, and we want them to be engaged. They should be going to class. They should be logging on if they have to, but the engaged student is a successful student. The student who's disengaged from their academics is really not one that's going to be successful. And Georgia Tech students sometimes believe they could do it all by themselves, and I would say that there are a few students that's true of here, but most students that is not. And then finally, connections and friendships. And the thing I'll say about this is that, when they first come to Tech, it's all about making connections. And that's the word I use. It's not about making friends. It's about making connections, meeting people, okay? Greeting them, getting to know them. Okay, some of those connections will lead to friendships. All right, but first you got to make the connection. All right, so the example I use with students is you walk into class, into chemistry class, you sit down, it's a large room, and I sit down, and what I should probably do is look to my right, look to my left, see who's sitting next to me, make eye contact with that person, and basically say one word, hello, right? If I do that and that student responds back, hello, we've made a connection. That's all that may happen on that first class, okay? I come back for the second class. Most students sit in exactly the same spot where they sat the first time. And same students are sitting there, and I look over and we kind of acknowledge each other, and then I take the risk and I just say, hey, my name's John, what's yours? And the student responds back, We've made more of a connection. See, that connection then could maybe lead to a friendship over time. That's what happens in residence halls too, and in classrooms and other places on campus, okay? So it's not about creating all of these best new friends. It's about making connections that in the end we can assess, is this someone I really want as a friend? Okay, so try to just get them to understand that point. Most students are just out to kind of recreate the best friend list, and that takes a while to do that. Okay, next slide. So we're here to help. You know your student, ask for help, or you can always contact the office. There's a referral page, a tab right on the main page of the division, and you can make a referral if you have some concern. Never hesitate to do that. Here, mental health matters. We realize it's this tough place, it's a rigorous place. We have a terrific array of mental health support. We have our GT Care, which is our triage center, the Center for Assessment, Referral, and Education. We have our counseling center. We have health initiatives. We have psychiatry. We have the dean's office and the vice president's office. We have probably about 40 mental health professionals on campus working with students, okay, and supplemented by all kinds of staff within housing and dean's office, academic advisors, and other places on campus. So there's a rich array of support and help on the campus. If your student says there's no one here to help me, challenge that and let us know that, because that is the furthest thing from the truth. Don't ever accept it as being the reality. Please do not. I am telling you, there's great help on the campus. All right, next slide, please. All right, I am going to turn this over to my colleague, Will. Have a great orientation, and I hope I see you at Family Weekend and get to meet some of you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Will McKenna, and I just wanted to take a second and introduce myself. I am the Parent Fund Coordinator here at Georgia Tech, and my colleague Emily Tagadine and I, we work with parents that want to continue to support Georgia Tech through philanthropy. So if you go to the next slide, please. The main way we do that is through our Parents Fund. Now, our Parents Fund is an unrestricted annual fund that is supported by Georgia Tech parents. So that's you guys now. And what it does is it allows Dean Stein to have some flexibility in solving some issues that aren't typically addressed with things like student fees and tuition. We offer grants to students who are members of organizations and want to put on activities on campus, as well as some students who want to maybe travel and go to leadership and educational development conferences. Last year we did a lot of virtual events, and we're really excited to get back to some in-person on-campus events this year as well. The main thing that I want to point out is this fund truly is all about supporting the students. Every dollar that comes into this fund goes to the students in a very direct and impactful way. We support a lot of events on campus that helps keep students engaged and active among the community. These events include things like the Ramblin' Rec's final ride that they give graduating seniors in the Ramblin' Rec. We help host the Week of Welcome. We offer support to service organizations that do service throughout the year all around campus. So as you can see, it's a broad variety of events and programs that we support. And it really helps the students get the most out of their time here at Georgia Tech. So why do we ask the parents to continue to give? Well, number one, like I said, it fulfills a very important but unmet need here at the Institute, but also it supports a lot of very meaningful programming that if you ask students, this is what they're going to remember about their time at Tech. They're not necessarily going to remember all their time in calculus class, but they are going to remember the Habitat for Humanity build they got to go on during their alternative service break. In addition to that, it helps keep you guys engaged in what your students are doing. As a Parent Fund donor, you receive updates and newsletters talking about all the programs that are happening on campus and where we're supporting them. And we find that a lot of parents actually know before their students do that certain things are happening. So they kind of let me know that, hey, I was able to tell my son or daughter to get involved with this organization, and they're incredibly happy. So thank you. So all in all, it is the #1 way that you as parents can support from the sidelines your student during their time here at Tech. But if you want to continue to also be engaged, I'm going to hand this over to Tyler and Lacey and let them talk about further engagement as parents at Tech.
Thank you so much, Will, and thank you so much, Dean Stein, for your talk about what every Yellow Jacket parent should know. And also just thank you, Will, again, for just talking about our Parents Board and what our wonderful Parents Fund does on campus to help support students. We would like to welcome you to the Yellow Jacket family. My name is Tyler Barker, coordinator within the Office of Parent and Family Programs. I've been at Georgia Tech for almost 3 years now. As you can see off to the left is myself as the coordinator, Lacey as the director. We are a 2-person office supporting all 39,000 parents and family members here at Georgia Tech. As you can see off to the right, we have our parent assistant leaders, which we call PALs for short. Every year we have about 10 to 12 student leaders who work in our office, help us out with day-to-day logistics, our major events on a yearly basis. They're really great because they kind of know the ins and outs of what it's like to be a student, so that way we can best support you as a parent. And also, it's also good for them to kind of serve as a support system when you call or email our office. They're able to assist us as well, and you. Our office was founded in 2009 in an effort to increase engagement, communication, and just support between parents and families and the Institute. When many of you perhaps may have went to college, or another family member may have went to college, parent and family program offices probably were not common around the country, but now they're really sparking, and this type of work is really leading to student success. Our motto is, when parents and families are informed, students benefit, and that is something that we truly believe here at Georgia Tech, all the way from the top of our administration, all across our campus, from faculty to staff. Our mission is to equip parents and families with the information and resources they need to support their students, provide opportunities for parents and families to stay connected and involved in their students' educational experience. So how do we get you informed and involved? Our office is kind of like your backbone, kind of like your concierge throughout your student 4-5 year career here at Georgia Tech. And so we want to make sure that you're informed and involved. We really pride ourselves on communication. We have a couple of different communication touch points that we like to provide to you as support. The first is a parent and family calendar / parent handbook. This is probably one of our most popular communication touch points that we do every year. The calendar is great because it has so much unique and important and relevant information, such as when to pay the bill, holiday breaks, the football schedule, just information about financial aid, contact information, and things of that sort, bursar information. There's also good talking points in there as well about study tips, homesickness. This year, we're offering the calendar digitally on our website, parents.gagtech.edu. That way you can download and print the calendar at your convenience. We're also taking our calendar to print as well, and we will be selling them on our website very, very soon. We have we have faculty and staff stop by our office and say, "Hey, Tyler, hey, Lacey, can I get the copy of the calendar this year?" It's really great because it has so many important dates in there, and it's just a really great tool. We also have our parent newsletter, which we send out monthly via email. This is really great because it has a lot of relevant and intentional information in there on a monthly basis, such as dining updates, housing updates, when is the next career fair, when to get your flu shot, and things of that sort. Study abroad information. That way, this is really great because it allows you as a parent to stay in the know on a month-to-month basis. So that when your students FaceTime, that way you can be able to support them. We have a website, parents.gagtech.edu. Highly encourage you to visit this over the next couple of days in your spare time. More about our office, our resources, programs, and things that we offer. We have a Facebook page, Tech Parents Program. We're pretty active on Facebook. With over 6,000 followers, we like to post a lot of information on Facebook. We like to post a lot of information on Facebook, so that way it's relevant and in the know for you, what we're doing in our office, different programs and events, and also the Instagram as well. If you're Instagram mom, dad, aunts, uncles out there, please give us a follow on Instagram. We like to stay connected via social media. Feel free to email us or call us at any time. We have parents do both numerous times throughout the week. Email and say, hey, Tyler, my student's thinking about changing their major. I'm not sure where to start, not sure how to best support them. Or, hey, Tyler, we're having some issues in dining. Would you mind pointing us in the right direction, a good contact person? Or, hey, Lacey, hey, Tyler, we're coming in town for the weekend. Any restaurant recommendations and things of that sort, or just whatever you need. If you don't know where to get started, you can start with our office. We have a couple different volunteer opportunities. Many of you perhaps were involved in your student's high school career, or perhaps you're looking to get involved now that your student is going off to college. You have a little bit of extra free time on your hands. So we offer some volunteer opportunities as well through FASET orientation, family weekend, and commencement. That is primarily for our local and in-state families who are local to the Metro Atlanta area. But however, if you're not local, we do have opportunities where you can connect with other families at local or regional events with admissions, alumni, or other Georgia Tech representatives that host these type of events. I'd like to welcome you to our Parents Association. All parents and family members are automatically members of our association. There's absolutely no cost to be a member. Our association is committed to strengthening the partnership between Georgia Tech and parents and families in order to enhance the parent and student experience. I would like to take a moment, if you can, take a picture or screenshot the URL, and it's also going to be dropped in the chat as well. This is our Parent Association information card, so that way we can get your email address and contact information, and also kind of gauge your interest as far as what type of things you would like to volunteer for as a parent. And also, this is how we can make sure that you're subscribed to our parent newsletter. So definitely make sure you hold on to that link. So many of you are thinking, hey, Tyler, hey, Lacey, I would love to get involved, but I'm not, local to the Metro Atlanta area. How can I get involved? And we have a parent and family ambassador program, which is great. We currently have over 100 ambassadors all across the world, ranging from Dubai to California to New York to Texas. And as an ambassador, you serve as a resource in your local area to incoming parents and families, to current parents and families, and just having your name and your email address listed on our website, just giving the families an opportunity to reach out to you and say, hey, hey, Tyler, I'm in Houston as well. I saw your information on the website. We'd love to chat with you, parent to parent, just get some advice. I have a student going to Tech next year, and so on and so forth. And so our ambassadors love being ambassadors. It's an opportunity for you to be involved and connected to Georgia Tech in a very minimal way. And lastly, before I turn it over to Lacey, last year with the pandemic, we kind of had to pivot in terms of how we support our families and our parents, but we found a gem, a diamond in the rough, in terms of offering virtual webinars on a monthly basis and sometimes weekly basis last year in the fall and spring, giving you a one-on-one kind of FaceTime opportunity with different offices on campus. As you can see, we hosted housing, dining, campus safety, health and well-being, tutoring and support, and academic support, study abroad, career center, et cetera, et cetera. These webinars allowed parents to really dive in and learn about the unique programs and resources that Tech is offering to best support your student. I know many of you are like, gosh, Tech has 100 offices. It's impossible to kind of know what they're doing. So we created this webinar series to kind of bring those offices to you. and it's something that was really well received and something that will continue in the fall and spring as well. Definitely encourage you to visit our website, and you can see the information at the bottom. If you just want to check out a couple webinars that we hosted this past year, some of them are still relevant, even though we are moving into a new academic year. And now I'll turn it over to Lacey.
Thanks, Tyler. Hi, everyone. I'm Lacey, the Director of Parent Friendly Programs. I'm just going to run through some of the events that we do for families and for students so you're aware of them. The first one is our first day of class pictures for our students. So you probably did those K through 12. We will do them for you when they're here at Georgia Tech. This is always the first day of class, and we'll take pictures. We use their cell phones if they'd like us to do that, but we also will take them with our cameras, and then we'll post them on our Parent Friendly Programs Facebook page. We have first year students who do these, and we have dry erase boards where students will write kind of a note to their mom or whoever saying, here, I'm taking the picture. Not only do first year students take their picture, but we typically have students come back every year to do this. And even the seniors you'll see in this picture, the slide in front of you, our last first day, we'll come take them. Faculty and staff stop by too. It's just a fun afternoon throughout the day, just taking pictures and kind of celebrating that it is the first day of class. And with this fall being so exciting, everyone kind of being back, I'm sure it'll be lots of fun to take that picture this year. Our next event is in October, and that is Family Weekend. This year will be our 33rd Family Weekend here at Georgia Tech. Friday is campus tours, educational workshops. President Cabrera will say a few words. We do college and school receptions. And then Friday night will actually be Family Fun Night at the College Football Hall of Fame here in Atlanta, which is just right down the street. And then Saturday is our tailgate, a football game with the University of Pittsburgh, and then jazz brunch on Sunday. There'll be some other activities thrown in there as well, but this is kind of the highlights for that day. I'm going to skip to the next slide to kind of let you know a few things about Family Weekend. So classes are not canceled on Friday, so please make note that your student may be in classes throughout most of the day. You can come to campus, go through the workshops and do those things, but you might not be able to see them until later that afternoon. Book your hotel as soon as possible. That information is on our website, parents.gotech.edu/Family Weekend, and just click on the drop-down hotel menu. We've got 4 hotels that we have blocked off and discounted rates with, and we will be running shuttles on Friday and Saturday from those hotels to campus. Please know that Saturday is game day, so there will be some roads that are blocked, but our shuttle service will try and get you where we can, as close as we can to where you're going. Family Weekend registration will open on July 15th and will stay open until September 15th. So you'll have 8 weeks to register your family to attend. And students may be out of town that weekend, so you might want to check with them to see kind of what their plans are. Some of them get involved in different organizations or clubs, and things kind of start happening. So you'll need to check with them to before you register. It is, we are expecting large numbers of families this year. Our second year families weren't able to attend Family Weekend last year, so they are very excited, as well as of course our new families, and our juniors and senior families will be excited. So it is probably going to be a record-breaking number year, but lots of fun will be had. So if you're not able to join us for Family Weekend, which sometimes families are not able to join us back in the fall, we do invite families to join us in the spring semester. We have 2 events. One event is Sibs Day, which is in February, a Saturday in February. It's a day-long event, typically from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., educational workshops. We do lunch in the dining hall. We'll do fun activities, and then a men's basketball game. And as soon as we have the men's basketball schedule released, we will select that date and make that announcement. This is a very fun day for our brothers and sisters, cousins, nieces, nephews, ages 7 to 18 to come and hang out with their Georgia Tech student for the day, kind of experience life in the Yellow Jacket family. The other event that we do in the spring is for grandparents. So grandparents and friends are invited to come on a typically Saturday afternoon to do lunch, and then we do some campus tours, as well as attend a baseball game. And as soon as the baseball schedule gets released, we will share that information and that date with our families. We just hosted this first one right before COVID happened, and it was quite a special day, seeing all the hugs of grandparents and students and lots of happy, proud moments for the students as well as the families. It was a very special day, and we're excited to do it again this spring. So the slide in front of you, you may have heard of the helicopter parent that hovers over their child to make sure that they succeed, or the lawnmower parent that plows the way to their child's success, or the snowplow parent, or the drone parent. There's lots of different things out there that we hear in the media and in the academia to refer to families, but we actually like at Georgia Tech to refer to our families as tandem bicycle family members. And so when your child was younger and she had 3 pieces of hair or his legs didn't quite reach the pedals, you made choices for them as to getting them involved in soccer, piano lessons, going off to summer camp, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, whatever it was, wherever you saw their interest, you kind of encouraged that and started to kind of get them on their journey. And then as they got older, and they got 3 more pieces of hair and their legs finally reached the pedals, you were able to kind of listen to them and hear them say, I really don't want to do science camp this year, but I do want to do space camp, and I would love to do this workshop, or would love to take piano lessons, or whatever it was. You kind of worked with them and kind of started working together as a unit to kind of get them on their path. And now that they're at Georgia Tech, we're going to switch the seats because we need them to be in the front of the bike. We need them to steer their own ship. We need them to figure out where they're going, choosing their major, getting involved on campus, studying abroad, learning a variety of different things from their peers around them, and developing their critical thinking skills. But we certainly need our families helping them, coaching them, mentoring them from the seat behind them, patting them on the back for a job well done, pedaling really hard when they're having trouble with finals. All of those things are so important for our families to continue to do, and we embrace the bicycle here at Georgia Tech, and we want you to think about that. Tyler, as Tyler mentioned, we get a lot of calls in our office, and sometimes our family members will say, I don't want to be one of those helicopter moms, but I just have a question. And we will always tell you, you're not being a helicopter mom, you're just being a mom. And that's okay to call us and ask for questions. That's why our office is here. We're here to help. So ways to support your student. They love care packages. They love getting letters in the mail. There is a campus post office. The information about how to mail them a letter or a package is in the calendar, which we shared that link earlier. It's towards the back of the calendar. There's information about how to do that. Texting is the #1 way they communicate. Certainly email's good too, but typically texting is the best way to communicate with them, as you probably know. Listen to what they have to say. The more you listen, the more that they will share with you. Encourage them to take advantage of all the opportunities that Georgia Tech has, and coming back this fall with everyone being here, I'm sure we're going to have so many opportunities and everyone will be so excited to share that with them. Remind them that they have your support, but encourage them, as Dean Stein said earlier, to kind of problem solve on their own so that they can kind of figure those things out, because that will help them later in life. And try not to worry too much when they're here. We will do the best we can to make sure that they are taken care of and support our entire community. And then we hear this from our students a lot. They really do love it when you tell them they love them and that you believe in them and you're so proud of them. They really kind of need that in text form. They need that in cards and care packages. That really keeps them going and cheers them up, especially if they're having a really challenging academic week. So there is a postcard that normally we would pass out in person, but we've made a digital version on our website that if you're interested in, you can go on our website, parents.gatech.edu, just fill out the postcard and just email it to them if that's something that you'd like to do when they're here over the summer. Just a little fun thing, or you can send care packages. Cookies are always good. They love cookies. And then this is just a fun little quote that I will kind of let you read on your own. Tyler and I love what we do, and we are happy. I've been here 7 years at Georgia Tech, so we are happy to help you in whatever way that we can to support you, support your student to be successful. If we'll go to the next slide, we'll leave that one up for a minute. And again, this is our website, parents.gatech.edu. Our email is the same, parents@gatech.edu. Our phone number, our Facebook page, Instagram, if you want to take a picture of that or jot that down quickly. We are happy to answer any questions that you have, and I'm going to pass it back to James. We look forward to meeting you in the fall. Thank you. Or in the summer, sorry.
All right, and we do thank you, Dean Stein, Will, Tyler, and Lacey, for your very insightful presentation on how our parents can get more involved on campus. We're going to be looking now to see if there are any questions in the chat, and if not, we're going to close our session for today. Seeing that there are no questions, we're going to go ahead and close. And we thank you all so much for joining us today for our campus partner presentation. And feel free to email our offices or call for additional questions that may have not been answered today. Please stay safe out there. And again, welcome to Georgia Tech.